Hello, so today we're going to channel about service and how to serve others, but also know our boundaries and how to handle situations where we might be taken advantage of. I know that when we have a big heart, we want to help everybody, especially in the spiritual community. There's probably a lot of people pleasers. And how do we handle situations such as when we are driving and we see a homeless person who's begging, but then we're wondering, uh, should we stop? Maybe it's kind of inconvenient to stop. How do we handle people who want to con us? I know I've actually had a situation where I was almost conned out of money. Uh, Fortunately, I did recognize that I was being conned and did put a stop to that. I have learned that it is healthy to have boundaries. It is healthy to say no. It is not the greatest actually to be burned out. How do you handle situations when you're a counselor? I'm a counselor. How do you handle situations where you really want to help people, but then they want to take advantage of you? They want more time, or they want to call you in the middle of the night. Fortunately, that has not happened to me. But there has been, I had a client, when I was doing spiritual services, really, it wasn't in the middle of the night, but it was like, I need it right now. I need you right now. So how do we handle situations like this? Because we want to help people, we want to be there. And I know you've had situations, definitely.
Or people coming up to you at the gas station or up to your car window where it could potentially be dangerous if you do talk to them. You don't roll down your window. So it's questionable.
Right, there's a lot of conflict. And the thing about it is that I know somebody who is truly in the fifth dimension, and she isn't concerned about any of this. And so I think once you get fully out of the fourth dimension, you probably don't have to worry about this because you're not attracting it. But yet, when you are gonna be honest, right? Most of us are bouncing back and forth. We are not truly all fully into the fifth dimension. You probably don't have to worry about this at all when you're in the fifth dimension.
Well, also with her, like she has less interactions with other people, and since we have entanglement with other people, like you could have it more because of other people.
Right? Or you're
Out.
clearing more.
Yeah, like for somebody else that's in the situation with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, that's a good question. We did not include that. Why are we attracting these things? How can we clear these things? That's a really good question that I did not have down. So, that is what we're going to channel about today. I do get a feeling it's probably going to be a lengthy one, maybe about an hour. But before we begin, I do want to let you know, give you an update. Yet again, I'm not doing personal sessions at this time. I probably will go back to them. I have been informed, unless I have timelines, that I will be healing again. I will do healing sessions. I will develop my own healing modality. Unless I have timelines, which is very possible, that is the direction that I'll probably get to. However, right now I'm not doing personal channeling sessions. I'm channeling for my book and books because I have a lot of inspiration ideas. I want to say I'm kind of almost done with my book about the Matrix. It's really not about the Matrix, though. It's really about how everything is illusion and about how to live from our authentic true self, which is not part of this reality. Nothing that we see is real, and to come back to our heart and to become a creator and to know how to live from that space, I guess, is how I will explain it. So it's not really about, why is this a matrix? How did it become a matrix? It's not that technical. I actually tried to get that information. I said no. I said that's not what this book is about. We want to open people's hearts. So it's about opening your heart, basically, to sum it up. I'm also working on my novel. That is another very important piece of what I'm focusing on is writing a novel. And I've been told that I am activating my light body. So I don't have the capacity to do personal sessions at this time. So just an update there. So exciting information though, because I soon will have a physical book and I will hold it up and I will show you that it is actually finished, and exciting too that I have been guided that a companion book and a workbook will be available for free uh, to accompany this and will be available on my website for you to download. You can also get that in a physical copy on Amazon too if you prefer that. So just an update about all that. I continue to work on my Etsy shop too, which is very fun. Okay, so let's get into the channeling. Do you have anything before we begin?
Not just that I'm dealing with stuff. So I'm not really doing anything right now.
Clearing. I think we're all clearing. The energy has been very high. We just went through the 7-7 portal. I know a few weeks ago, oh my goodness, I was so tired. So tired, so unmotivated, just really wanted to sleep. And so I think we are just really, really I don't know why my higher self just keeps wanting to say out of it. We're kind of out of it. I don't know what she means. I want to refer to my higher self as they, because my immediate higher self is a she. But then when it's not. We have so many higher selves, so I'm probably kind of it. Anyways, but they keep saying we're out of it. I, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that means we're out of the matrix a bit, a little out of our lives. Huh. I don't know. What I get is that we're out of needing things. We're just kind of living in the world and not of it, I guess. I don't know. Uh, okay. Anyways, I think we are just going through a lot internally. So let's get into the channeling now. Okay, I will be channeling Archangel Michael because it's about service. I think he's a good one to contact for that. The next topic I think will be about AI, which should be interesting, and because we are having a lot of AI technology coming about, not necessarily robots, but we have that too. But we are developing a lot of software for writing and pictures and uh, music and videos, and these things can be used for good, but we also could be manipulated or stuck as well with this kind of technology. So
and questioning if we've already created sentience. I forget what they were called.
that's
Google. There's a Google AI that they were debating if it was sentient or not.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good topic. We were going to channel that, but then this came up for us, so we'll be doing this topic today. So let's get to it. I would like to ask a question for you. What is it that you would like to do today? I think he's asking you.
No, I know.
Okay, I answered him too, and I said, I'm probably going to work on my book. He said, that's good.
I don't know.
When you get up in the morning, state your intention for the day. We would like you to activate yourself on a daily basis by setting an intention for the day. Do you understand?
Is it just doing something, or is it like reaching a specific milestone? So for example, if I was saying Heather's saying of working on a book, would I say like I want to do this much of a book, or just generally?
No. He also said it's important. That also came through. It depends. What is the intention behind what you are doing? That is the most important key element. If you write 500 words, what are you trying to incorporate in that 500 words? This is helping Heather. She's understanding with her novel. Yes. So, in the state of consciousness, what are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to express in that novel, in that book, in that whatever you are doing? You can even activate when you are watching TV. But what are your intentions behind it? If you are to live and grow and to become more, we would like you to express yourself in each and every moment. That would be the goal, is for you to understand yourself in each and every moment. And as you express yourself, that is the service. So you could do anything really and become more and to grow and to experience that as you. And then as you do that, it ripples out to others. It is like a battery charging and then it spreads out into the world to charge others. How you do it is a different question. This is how, but what? What you do is different than how. So it doesn't matter so much what you do, is how are you doing it? How are you living your life? And as you step into the how, the what will be provided. You will receive, you will be an open channel for the information to flow in. We can continue with the questions.
Okay, so what is authentic service to others?
Yes, I just explained that. It would be that you express yourself. You understand the intention behind anything that you do. You activate yourself with the energy flow as you operate. As you go through your life, you could activate at any moment. Even walking to the bathroom could be a beautiful activation as you call in more love light energy. You just got to feel what it feels like to be your higher self as you walk to the bathroom. You call upon you the love light. You grow from walking to the bathroom. See, it's all a flow in that you grow. You experience yourself in a new way. You feel different. You feel like you are feeling yourself. You are knowing who and what you are as you do whatever it is. So Heather right now is understanding us and becoming more grounded. And what I mean by grounded is becoming more in the moment. She's becoming more in the words that we speak, in the sound of her voice. She is activating herself in that sense because she is stepping into that. Because as we speak, she's realizing, maybe I wasn't so myself. So she is putting herself in the heart. That's really what it is. When people talk about Zen and being more mindful, they are really speaking of the heart. Although we say mindful, right? As if it's the mind. But it's really not. It's really the heart. And if you are to integrate within yourself, you bring yourself back to the internal. You bring yourself back into the self as you speak, as you walk, as you do anything. And as you do that, what will happen is that you will receive your next step. You will understand the flow. This is how people become psychic, is that they become more in the moment, less in the mind, less in the thinking realm. And their body changes because the subtle bodies, the energetic bodies, become more integrated into the body. And then you become more integrated. You become more connected. You are the oneness. As you flow, you will become more of the love light, and the love light becomes more of others. You will get information. You will receive. That would be the answer.
So, how does that look when you are working directly with other people? How do you how do you balance what you're doing with them?
There is no difference. You would speak and you would receive. Maybe you receive information through energy. Maybe you feel the energy. Maybe you hear the other person, you understand what they are saying, you reflect upon it. It is like if somebody is there with you, you feel their presence and you work with that presence, but you reflect upon it as in, how much of this do I understand? How much of this do I see as myself? If you do not understand yourself, you then express who and what you are to the other person, but in a kind, loving way, not a judging way. And in that, you integrate with yourself and you activate. You have a contrast, a comparison. Either you see a mirror of yourself or you see a part of yourself, a fragment of yourself. And when you see the fragment, you then become more whole. Or if you're integrating with somebody who you know is more integrated and more of a unit, then you yourself become healed as you reflect. This is all about coming to terms with the truth, coming to terms with who and what you are, understanding the love light energy. It's all about knowing the self and then expressing the self to create. We are done with that question. As long as you do not have more questions about it.
How do you know what the most self response is in any situation?
That is a good question. How do you know? It is because you understand. To ask that question means that there is a fragmentation behind that question. You do not understand because you do not Find the answer within yourself. If you are to integrate, you know yourself as integrated. Become more integrated. How do you do that? You see yourself as integrated. You bring the fullness within your body. You see yourself as the love light. What I mean by that is you set that intent. You ask for it. You are open to receive it. You are not fearful in the answer you receive. You are willing to receive whatever the answer is without resistance. And that's when you find the answer. In doing this every day, you will receive much and you will be guided. So as you speak, as you interact, you become you. And if you do not understand yourself, you ask to understand. You have a inner dialogue, if you will, an inner commentary with yourself in which you ask your higher self to bring it in. You have a willingness and an openness to receive. Many people go through life without doing this. That's why they become stagnant. And Heather is saying, that's what my book is about. And so, what you do on a daily basis is you ask to receive. It is really that simple. So, if you are unsure, you just ask to be sure. Have faith. Look at it as my higher self has already been there. They have learned, so I will have that information be given to me. You can use visualization if you choose to understand this. You can bring in light. You can bring in a figure of your higher self and bring it into to integrate yourself. You can bring it through the top of your head and down inside. And you can see it swirling in your heart if you wish. You can see a blossom of the heart as a flower or jewel integrating within yourself. And that will be your key. I want to say it's like a key unlocking. You can even visualize that. I am putting in the key and unlocking, and I open the door, and the light streams in. That could be a good metaphor. You can use visualization. You could use actual physical items if you wish. You could light a candle, you could light some incense, you could put on some oil, you could take a bath. This is the intention of ritual and why it works. It is not the act itself, it is the intention behind it. If you need physical items, if you need some sort of step-by-step process to feel like you are integrated, to feel like you are bringing in a certain result, that is what is needed. Do that. But do it on a daily basis. It does not matter how or what, but we say how as in what you are doing. It is only the energy behind it. And that is all.
What is the most loving response to someone who is possibly trying to take advantage of you and keeps asking for more?
Mm-hmm. When they ask for more, you ask them why. Why do you want more? And if they say they want more because they have an intention to receive something more, you say, what will you do with that? What are you going to do with the money? What are you going to do with the information? What are your intentions? If they respond that they want to give to other people, then it's probably best to give to them. If you sense that they are trying to receive for themselves, that's when you say no. And you will most likely pick up if somebody's lying. Because if they are lying, they will try to manipulate you in the process. They will say, oh, I'm going to give to the homeless. I'm going to give this money away. Well, why are they asking if then they're going to give it away? See, it doesn't make sense. If they are trying to manipulate you, it is a big story. You can probably pick up on it. There is an energy component as well. You can pick up on the energy of another person, even in email. How are you feeling in the process? How are you feeling when you interact with somebody? It's most likely a con if you feel nervous, scared, worried. You got to ask yourself, is this coming from me? Is this coming from my intellect? Are there programs in my mind that tells me a story that all people are liars, all people are con artists? Then that's coming from you, and that is something to clear. But if it is something that you're picking up on, then that's most likely the indication to say no and set some boundaries. Why do they want money? Why are they asking you? Why are they asking you specifically rather than the person down the road?
What if somebody else is with you in that situation and it comes up for something that needs cleared within them? How is the best way for you to then clear that for you and them?
Yes. This is a good question. When you are trying to manipulate somebody to clear, you are really trying to manipulate them in that you're trying to force them to clear. It's all about the self. Understand that. All healing is self healing. You need to look at your own energy. How is your energy when you recognize somebody needs to clear? You need to heal yourself. That is all the answer that we can give. When you heal the self, you heal the energy of all. Because it really is a reflection. If you are reflecting somebody needing to clear, there is clearing that needs to be done within you. So give it away. Clear something inside you, and the other person will clear in a response. If you need to heal, it is about healing yourself in the process. Huh. Okay, I am asking him, does that mean that every time you do a healing modality, you are needing to heal yourself? And he said, yes. It's very interesting. So when you do Reiki, for instance, or light language healing, or any other type of healing, you acupuncture, I guess, you are healing yourself. That would be the true healing. He says many people do not, and that is why there is, they see it as a cause and effect, as in like an external, but it's more about the internal. That's very interesting. I mean, I've known that, but I didn't know it always was like that. So even because I know for sure there's a lot I need to heal, but I didn't know like even people, because I thought, there's like let's say Jesus. Let's just go with that. Jesus, Yeshua, Even he needed to heal something within himself? Okay, okay. All right, it's all collective. When you step outside yourself, you will see the collective as you. So therefore, you are healing yourself. I see. There's a merging within the self. So you take it as a part of you. And so then you are healing the self as you heal another. Okay, that makes sense. I understand. Okay, when we work with others, we work with ourselves. Okay. Yeah. You become a part of them. Like you. Okay. So, yes. So, when you work with somebody, it's yet again like that psychic, like people become psychic, you are gaining access to information through the collective. You are understanding a part of yourself. So, it's not necessarily like a technical healing of yourself, but it is the self when you get to that point. So until you get to that point, it's probably going to seem like you are clearing yourself, like you as in you. But then it becomes the unified you. So it is healing you. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
So, is it true that you have to heal yourself before you can heal the extended you? Or can you heal others as long as you are recognizing that it's also healing yourself?
Wait, I'm trying to understand your question. You need to heal
Because
it.
sometimes people talk about, like, if you are not healed enough first, like, you might be unsuccessful or you might pass something on. Is that not, is that a result not of the fact that you are not healed, but because you're not healed to the extent that you're recognizing that you're healing yourself at the same time? So is the important thing that you are recognizing that you are healing yourself at the same time, so you can heal yourself while healing others at the same time, but you have to recognize that you're doing that.
That's my understanding, but let me.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting, but I
yeah,
just
I don't
clarify.
think you need to like necessarily well, I'm not good enough to be a healer yet. Like I gotta take you 10 years. I mean, maybe, but okay. Okay. So activate yourself in the process. Yes. So you activate. Okay. Do not define yourself by anything that you would see as an illness. So when you're healing another person, if illness comes up, if fear comes up, separation comes up, you let that go. You bring in the love light to activate. It is like clearing the shadow. It does not matter what you bring in because you will see yourself in a different way, meaning that the other person will always be clear because you are healed. As you heal you, you heal another. This is why it is heart-based. You do not need to fear of external sources when you activate the self. Okay. Shielding is important, but technically you do not need shielding when you actually are the self. When you see the unified intention behind you. When you see the love between you and another. That means anything you bring in will not stick because you are understanding yourself. If you have the process of expansion, another cannot achieve manipulation. It cannot attach because you are the love light and you are mastering your love light. As long as you are expanded in some way, then you will be clear. The only way that another can come in and attach or form an implant or any of that is when another has manipulated you in some way and you have allowed it in some way because you have not understood who and what you are. You've attached to another person as who and what you are. Another person or a sort of form or energy manipulation. When you come back to yourself, you will not need that anymore. It is because you are identifying with that. So, in a way, it does not even exist because you have just identified with a false reality.
So you mentioned illness. Does that mean that if somebody is asking you for healing for a specific illness, you shouldn't focus on healing that illness, but just healing in general?
No, that is not what we're saying, but we are saying that illness is in recovery. Believe in recovery. Believe in the recovery of that illness. Do not focus on the illness, but the recovery itself. And in that, you will focus on yourself. You will focus on your intention to heal that person, but also yourself through the information that you are bringing in. Are you bringing in new information? Are you bringing in new energy? Are you bringing forth the energy field necessary for recovery? Are you expanding your energy? In that, you are healing yourself. You cannot heal another by staying the same. Do you understand? So every day, make it a healing journey just by driving your car. Just stepping into the grocery store can be a beautiful healing process. You do not need to have someone on the table that you are placing your hands over or speaking with. Make it a daily intent to heal the planet. Bring in love light with everything that you do. This is expansion, this is ascension. It is like you are a doorway. You're opening the door to bring in the light, to shine. It is not what you do, but how you do it. Are you bringing in light while you eat? While you speak, while you read, while you write, while you watch TV? These things are not bad necessarily, as long as you use them in the right way. They can be used as tools.
What is the best way to love someone who is asking for assistance but may be manipulating you? And how can you tell if they are or not?
They will give it away. Do not reason out that they are one way or another. Look at them. See them. Become them. What are you trying to tell me here? What are you trying to see within me? Are they trying to see? Are they trying to get something new? Or are they trying to manipulate you by taking? Are they advancing themselves, or are they just taking so that they can become themselves in the stagnated view, the restricted view? Would they use that information? Would they use that which you give them in a positive way? Will this be used towards ascension, or will they just be the same? If someone texts you over and over again, trying to get your attention, trying to tell you sad stories, they are most likely staying the same. And they say, I want your advice, I want you to hear me. Well, are they using that advice? Are they agreeing with that advice? Are they looking at themselves in a new, different way, coming up with new ideas? And me, Heather, I am looking at this as a lot of my sessions. It's people gain insight. They get new ideas, and then they'll speak that just because I spoke something, and then they're like, whoa, yeah, and then they go off and they create their own ideas, and that's expansion. But then if somebody is just staying the same, telling you a story that's flat, right? Kind of stuck, then that's not a flow. Yes, that makes sense. Okay. Okay. Offer advice. You can offer advice, you can offer whatever it is you're willing to give, but are they willing to give it? Are they what?
To
Willing to give
receive
it?
it?
Are they willing to give anything to another from that? Are they willing to use that in some way? Okay, interesting. Do they want to receive so then they can use that information? There must be an exchange. Somehow they will exchange information to you, or they will exchange that information to another. It is a chain of events, and if the chain stops, then that is a manipulation. They are not advancing. They are not growing. So when you see somebody on the side of the street and they are asking and looking at you in pain, that would be your cue to see what kind of person they are. How can you know what kind of person they are? Well, one way would be to stop your car and to look at them. But sometimes that is not in your advantage because you may need to get somewhere. Let's say you do need to get somewhere on time, you do not have time to stop, that's fine. Look at them and you can spread your light to them and offer you in return. Offer some energy, a blessing in return. Okay, I'm thinking of the Diksha oneness blessing that I was trained in. I don't use it very often, but that's one way. You can offer some assistance if you feel called to do so. One way to do this is to call on your higher self and ask them what their recommendation is. They will often give you some guidance, but you can sense within yourself a feeling, an intuition about what to do. What is it you have to give as well? Do you have something of means to give? And how much are you willing to offer? And how much are you willing to receive? Do you want to give? Do not give out of obligation. Give because you feel like it's the right thing to do. There seems to be on this planet a lot of restrictions and you must do this at this time. You must give to the food pantry. You must give when there's a donation. What I'm trying to say with that is that the way to give is not from the mind. The way to give is from the heart. Do you give because it's the right thing to do? Because others say or will view you in a certain way? Or are you mastering yourself to know your genuine, authentic self? To know when to give, to know when to receive. Do not do it because you think it's the right thing. Ask yourself, how do I know that this is the right thing? You keep saying, do that on a daily basis. Keep saying that. Do this on a daily basis. That's funny. That'd be the answer to that homeless question.
No, I know.
Right.
So I don't really form this in a question, but I had it when there is the possibility of danger being involved. And I recognize that you would do the same thing of like recognizing, is this a dangerous situation? But what then would be the most like loving way to get out of a situation that you see as potentially dangerous? Like if someone comes right up to your car and might attack you if you do talk to them back.
Right. I mean, I remember one time I was walking in Chicago, and there was this homeless man. I assumed he was homeless, but he came up and wanted to talk to us. And I was pretty young at the time, but I mean, old enough to be there, just me and my friend. But it was scary because he was pretty aggressive. Like he like walked behind us and like I don't know. He was like he didn't talk like in a loving way, right? It was very much like, hey, you.
Yeah, so the car situation, obviously you can just drive away, but that feels like you are unseeing them. Like that you must acknowledge them and at least see them. But then in your situation,
I mean, we were walking.
Then it seems just scary just to even run away, because then they might be aggressive to you. So what do you do in a situation like that?
Right. Okay. There are so many different ways to see yourself in that situation. There are so many different ways to respond. It depends on what you are and who you are and what you feel is the right response. One way to do that is to remain silent. Remaining silent means that you can integrate within the self. You can become yourself as the one who is not scared, the one who has faith, the one who has peace, regardless of your outside. That would be one response. Another response might be to call on information, to receive your answer, to receive your guidance on what to do. It might be that you call on the angels for protection, or your higher self, or use of some sort of geometric shapes, or visualization. It might be to say something. It might mean to respond physically. But it doesn't matter really what you do, it's how you feel. So feel your own energy within that situation. All will be well then, for you will advance. It is all about expansion, all about activation. If you are presented in a situation like that, it is in a way a test. You could see it that way, as a test to see what you will do. You called it upon yourself for some reason. how will you respond? Will you respond with love, or will you respond with resistance, fear, separation? If you see the man or the woman or whoever it is coming to you and you see them as something to fight and to resist, you have not learned your lesson. Do not respond with fear. Yes. He says, we have spoken.
So is that the main reason for attracting situations like that is to test yourself?
Yes. It's to integrate. There's something there that you need to clear. It's all about clearing. Become the love light, and you will not need to clear anymore. If you are seeing a pattern in your life, or if you're seeing certain situations over and over again, or certain energy forms, certain feelings, emotions, thoughts that keep popping up, it's because they are there and you're not clearing them. Clear them. How do you clear them? You don't identify with them. You identify with the true self, the self that is, the one that is within, the higher self, the one that doesn't need to be tested. Do you understand? Become the one who no longer needs that, and you will let it go. You will transmute. Identify with your future self. Identify with the one who is already there, who does not need the situation anymore, who doesn't need the thoughts anymore, who doesn't need the emotions anymore, the relationships anymore, or the money troubles anymore, whatever it is. Become the one who is. If you need anything, just ask. Trust. Know that your higher self has been out of that situation or has gained the information.
What guidance do you have on people pleasing so that you can serve while still taking care of yourself?
Yes, people pleasing is a form of separation in itself because you feel like you want to give. You feel like you want to save people actually from themselves. You don't want to remove the thing that is attaching to that. You have an attachment to the response of others. You have an attachment of what you would see as a positive response. But what you're doing is actually saving the person from expanding because when necessary, there needs to be an unhappy response. There needs to be times when they will respond in a negative way. This is part of their plan. And if you have, if you are trying to take them from that, trying to keep them from that, trying to protect them, in a sense, you are only preventing both of your expansions. So let's say that you give a gift that you don't really want to give. You really want to give one thing, but you choose the safe route. Well, I know they like the pop. I know they like the orange pop. But you know that that is not going to serve them. Let's go further. Let's say it's alcohol. They have an alcohol problem and you choose to give them wine because you know that they will be appreciative of that, but you really want to give them a book. That's really what you want. But instead, you give them the alcohol to people please. You're only perpetuating a problem, and you are not serving anyone. This is one example. But it can go as in, I'm going to call somebody because I know that they say they need for you to call them in the middle of the night to save them. Or somebody wants to stay at your home and you allow it. But really, what are you doing for them? Let's say that they don't know how to take care of themselves. You are showing them that you will always take care of them and everybody will take care of them. But they are not learning their lesson. And I'm not saying that it's not possible to help someone and serve someone by letting them stay at your home. I'm not saying that. But if you allow somebody to stay at your home, but they are not integrating, they are not learning, they are not ascending, they are not learning to love, and they are only taking advantage, you are only serving them on a physical level. And that's the difference. When you integrate within the spiritual sense, you do not see the physical. You only see the emotional, energetic self, who is beyond the physical. What is it that will actually leave them with something? And sometimes you need to separate. And sometimes you need to set boundaries. And sometimes you need to say no because it is not working. You no longer are going to call them in the middle of the night because it doesn't really work. You feel drained, and then they want to talk, and it goes nowhere. Because all they do is tell you the same story over and over again. We hope that answered your question.
Oh, it can be beneficial to do things that you have reluctance to do. So, how can you recognize if someone asks you to do something and you have reluctance come up, if it is beneficial for you to do that thing, or if that is just people pleasing?
Okay. So he says there's no reason to do it. But I want to make sure I understand your question. So you're saying if reluctance comes up and you are
Oh, resistance is what I mean, not reluctance.
well,
So
okay.
like that it is beneficial for you to work through resistance that comes up. So and so that is because you have like an attachment to your ego that has the resistance to do something. But when it's attached to somebody else, is that always coming from a sense of people pleasing then? If you do something, is that always people pleasing instead? And it's beneficial for you if it's something that is not.
I mean, this is a good question because sometimes you need to do things that you have a resistance towards, right?
So is it when it comes up, but it's not someone specifically asking you to do something, and when it's someone specifically asking you to do something, then it's people pleasing?
I don't know, because that's a good question. Because I don't think necessarily, because sometimes you have resistance or fear pop up and you don't want to do something, but then if you do it, it feels good because then you're like clearing.
So yeah, moving through the resistance can be clearing, but then it can be
like
people pleasing.
For instance, it's really interesting. We had a family party, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said no. I said I wasn't going to go. I actually called them up, said I wasn't going to go, and then I chose to go, and then I felt good. So I must have cleared. I mean, I don't know, right? Okay, so I still don't know how it's a clear question with that, but like, okay. Yeah, I mean, that might be a good example. If the family party, like, is it to go, is that just people pleasing or the
Mm-hmm.
resistance to go? Um, Maybe you should go anyways, right? How do you know the difference? How do you know where the resistance is coming from? Okay. How do you feel when you move into the heart? How do you feel when you separate yourself from the situation to feel the light? When you go into the self, what do you feel? Do you feel like it is a positive or do you feel like it is a negative? Light will show you the way. In the instance of the party, there was no reason to go. That was the right decision to say no. The reason that you said yes later was because it was a choice that you received. You received the information to make that choice. It is because another was telling you to go and you had no reason to go, but then you loved yourself enough to say no, but then you chose it for yourself. Finding the right answer within yourself is the positive. To understand why you are doing something. Are you doing it because another told you to do it, or would you choose to do it? For instance, let's say somebody calls you up and says, I have a flat tire, please come and help. Would you come and help, or are you doing it just because they told you to? Just because they asked? Or let's say you found out somebody had a flat tire, would you go and assist them? Let's say a family member calls you up and says, I have a flat tire. Do you want to go help? Or are you doing it because you feel you have to? You should, because there are rules. You always help your son with the flat tire. You always help a father. Where is this coming from? Is this coming from the mind? Is this coming from the heart? Do you understand now? Choose for yourself. This is people pleasing when you do it because there are rules and expectations, not because you really choose. Okay. I'm just thinking about how I was talking yesterday about how I move out of the way for people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm just thinking, do I move out of the way just because it's expected, or do I move out of the way because I want to move out of the way to help people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think most of the time I actually move out of the way. I don't know. I don't know. I think a lot of times I do move out of the way because I want to help. I think.
I do that, but then also I feel bad
I
when
mean,
I'm in people's way. So then
that's.
I feel bad about
I mean,
myself.
it's true, but that recognition, I think, will help. I think it will help because I always feel like I'm in people's way. But if I feel like I am choosing and doing the right thing, like it is a choice, and I recognize that's a choice because I think it'll help me to know that I am helping. Okay. What else?
So, how do we serve while not getting burnt out or having resentment?
If you choose for yourself and integrate the information, you will never get burned out because you will do what you love. You will feel like you are doing the right thing all the time because you have received the information. And so there is a flow and there is an energetic exchange, and you will never ever get burned out. There will not be resentment because you are the one choosing. Do not do because it is to be done. Do it because you are serving from the heart. You are actually receiving the information. Yes. Energy exchange. And then you are not burned out. Okay, but I have a question. Like, let's say you are working. Let's say like you have a job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go. Like you have to go. Like for instance, counseling sessions. You have it scheduled. You have to go. I've been burned out just because there's just been so many sessions. He says it's because I resist the sessions. I tell myself there's so much. Why don't I tell myself it is enough? I am so pleased. Okay, accept the sessions, accept the love behind the sessions. Okay, it depends on what I'm focusing on. Activate enough to understand that the sessions are valuable. If you are going to a job, receive the information behind the job. If you love your job, you are receiving. You can activate enough to know that you are supposed to leave a job. If you are going there with resentment and you are going there with, okay, you can go there with pride. It depends on your activation. It depends on what you are receiving. If you are resisting the fact that you are supposed to leave, then you are not understanding. If you are going there but you are feeling like you shouldn't be there, it is usually because you are loving yourself that you need to leave. Okay, because I'm thinking, like, my mind is like, oh, but what about gratitude and, appreciation? But mostly, I think he's saying that if you go there with resistance for a prolonged amount of time, you're actually supposed to leave. Okay, he says that's one way to look at it. You can activate and stay there. You can, but it's with determination. And you can create that and manifest a different situation. Although the best way, the highest way is probably to leave. You're being guided to resist from the heart usually. It depends. If you had a choice, if you knew that you could do something else, if you knew that you wanted, let's say if you had a choice between your job or another job, would you choose the other job or you? Or where you're at? Do not define yourself as the reality that you're in. If you knew that you could create a new reality, would you? If you would, then the best is to leave because you are the one that creates. So call in another reality and you can move forward. Do not define yourself and leave your energy behind you every day. Move forward. Showing me the flash. It's so funny. Like you're on for.
Oh man.
That's so funny. Like this is good imagery though because the Flash has all the energy as he runs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like keep moving forward, like running with rapid speed, progressing. Yeah. Okay. So many people have stories, as in you should do this, you need to do this, you need to stay at a job for 20 years, right? That is all an illusion. That is ego. It's not meant to be that way. You're supposed to expand. You either expand in your job or you become stuck. If you feel stuck, it is important to leave because you are doing nothing but running on a treadmill. And I'm getting an image of like Barry running on a treadmill is so funny. Like running in place. Okay, he says that's all.
So what advice do you have for people who want to serve but don't know what their purpose is and what will bring them joy?
Okay. This is give up. Give up. If you're trying to force it, you're trying to people please. You are serving out of obligation. You're telling yourself you have to serve. You are not wanting to serve, you're telling yourself there are rules and that you need to serve. But the best thing to do would be to get in the heart and to activate your heart. Move into the heart daily, meditate, grow in expansion, and the service will shift. You will receive the information and guidance of where to go, what to do, and how to serve. But first, you need to activate and charge yourself like a battery, because then you will know what to do. Because once you charge, it will explode because you have charged so much, you cannot charge anymore. It needs to ripple out in some way into the physical form. So, in a way, you could see it as the feminine becoming the masculine. Become the feminine first, and then the masculine will put it out there into the world in some sort of action. And he says, do this on a daily basis. I don't know. I've been like getting the thumbnail, and I'm like, should I put "do this on a daily basis" on the thumbnail?
That's all the questions, unless you have anything else.
No, that was good. Okay. Yeah, it's like we are pleased, we are happy. Wow, so that was a lot more in depth. That was a lot more eye-opening, activating than I expected, actually. Like, that was really good. That was helpful. And yes, it's an hour and 13 minutes. I figured it would be. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful, and we will see you again soon.